My name is David Fott. I teach in the Department of Political Science and am the director of the Great Works Academic Certificate Program at UNLV. Tonight's lecture is co-sponsored by the Great Works Academic Certificate Program, which exists to encourage undergraduates to spend as much time as they can with the greatest minds who have ever lived. I won't say more about the program here, but instead ask my assistant, Elena Yatsky, to distribute some information to you that will tell you about the program. And if you have questions, please feel free to speak with me after the event. This event is co-sponsored by University Forum, and University Forum is sponsored and funded by UNLV's College of Liberal Arts, with additional funds gratefully received from Nevada Humanities. This lecture is also co-sponsored by the Department of Political Science. And I would like to thank Sophie Parisi in the College of Liberal Arts Dean's Office for assistance with preparations for this event. After the lecture and time for questions and answers, we will have a reception with hot and cold hors d'oeuvres in the lobby, to which you are cordially invited. I'm very pleased to welcome our lecturer tonight, Jerry Weinberger, Professor of Political Science at Michigan State University. Professor Weinberger is the author of a number of books: Science, Faith, and Politics, Francis Bacon, and the Utopian Roots of the Modern Age. That's one of them, published by Cornell University Press. Francis Bacon's History of the Reign of Henry VII, also published by Cornell University Press. More recently, Benjamin Franklin Unmasked, on the unity of his moral, religious, and political thought, published by the University Press of Kansas, and available at the UNLV bookstore. He has also written numerous scholarly articles in political philosophy on such figures as William Shakespeare, Thomas Hobbes, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Martin Heidegger. He's currently writing a book about Heidegger's influence on modern political thought. He has edited many books as well, including Bacon's Great Instauration and New Atlantis for the Crofts Classics series, published by Harlan Davidson. Articles for the more popular press include America's Food Revolution and Cell Phones and the City for City Journal, publication of the Manhattan Institute, and Kurdistan's Democracy Deficit for the Daily Standard. He spent 4 months of last year consulting for the American University in Iraq, Suleimani. Science and technology have been the subjects of a number of Professor Weinberger's publications, and he is co-founder and co-director of the Symposium on Science, Reason, and Modern Democracy at Michigan State, which was established in 1989. The symposium enjoys a national and international reputation as an important center for research, scholarship, postdoctoral fellowships, public lectures and debates, and annual national and international conferences on problems of modern democracy. In 1997, Professor Weinberger concluded negotiations with the Samuel J. and Ethel Lefrak Charitable Foundation for an endowment of $1 million to establish the Lefrak Forum, which took over a portion of the symposium's activities and now works in coordination with the symposium. In 2004, the National Endowment for the Humanities awarded the symposium a We the People Challenge grant in recognition of the symposium's national status as a, quote, model project that strengthens the teaching, study, and understanding of American history and culture, unquote. Professor Weinberger has himself held numerous fellowships from the National Endowment for the Humanities, the Earhart Foundation, and the Institute for Educational Affairs. Well, if there's anything else for me to say to illustrate to you that he is well qualified to speak on the topic of tonight's lecture, I don't know what that would be. So here tonight's lecture titled Francis Bacon and Benjamin Franklin on Moral and Scientific Progress. I present Professor Weinberger and ask you to join me in welcoming him to UNLV.
Thank you for that very kind introduction, and thank you all for being here. It's a pleasure to see a full room. I think Franklin would be happy that we're having this talk tonight because he was the inventor of the first public lottery in the United States. It was a way to turn vice to virtue. Actually, one small correction, I was teaching in Iraq at the American teaching American history and philosophy and ethics to young students, extremely eager to be able to speak their minds. My topic tonight is Francis Bacon and Benjamin Franklin on scientific and moral progress. Bacon was the famous propagandist of the modern scientific project, which he described as the conquest of nature for the relief of the human estate. Bacon argued, to put it in a nutshell, that if human beings could agree that nature is our common enemy, the technological war against that enemy would replace the political and religious wars that had plagued the human race from time immemorial. For Bacon, the war against nature involved an accompanying war against religion, something he called superstition. In his New Atlantis, which is a depiction of what a technological utopia would look like, Bacon makes it clear that the scientific establishment of that fabled but still projected possibility of a scientific society had total control over the religion of the society. And that religion is very thin stuff. And in fact, in the course of the story told in the New Atlantis, a miracle occurs. A miracle of original revelation. Some unknown books of the Bible are actually revealed in a fabulous miracle that happens. And people can read them. There's a miracle of tongues. And then when he describes the scientific establishment, it turns out that the scientists know how to fake all this stuff and have almost certainly done that. About Bacon, Joseph de Maistre, the famous French reactionary politician and writer, said he wanted to kill both the priesthood and kingship with one blow, by enlightening them towards rendering forever useless kings and priests. And de Maistre further noted that among the almost infinite number of blasphemies that our century has uttered against good sense, morality, and human dignity, you will not find a single one that is not found virtually or expressly in Bacon's works. Now, Franklin was a keen student of Bacon. He had read everything Bacon wrote, and also he was a keen student of Hobbes and Spinoza. But he did not quite agree with Bacon that modern science could be counted on by itself to reduce human conflict, especially as it concerned religion. Thus, in 1770, Franklin wrote to his friend and fellow natural philosopher Joseph Priestley to complain of the disparity between scientific and moral progress. Franklin was a very witty and clever, often hilariously clever writer. So you have to bear with me in some of the things I'm going to repeat. But he said of the difference between scientific and moral progress, so badly constructed were most human beings that